Shalom, 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 everybody. It's your girl, a messenger with a smile. Take a couple more sips of this tea, and we jumping right on into Deuteronomy chapter 12. My. Y'all know how my voice is. I talk all day. But today we about to read the scripts. And this, by far, is the most important thing that I do every day. Every single day. Why? It's right here. It shows you right here. It says Deuteronomy chapter 12. It says, verse 1, it says, "These are the statutes and ordinances which you shall be watchful to do in the land which the Lord your God the God of your fathers, gives you to possess all the days you live on the earth. You shall destroy all the places where the nations you dispossess serve their gods." So you destroy where they serve their gods. Where are these places? Upon the high mountains and the hills and under every green tree. These are the places where they serve their gods. You shall break down their altars and dash in pieces their pillars and burn their asherim with fire. You shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy their name out of that place. You shall not behave so toward the Lord your God. That's verse 4. You shall not behave so toward the Lord your God. But this is what you shall do. You shall seek the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name and make his dwelling place. And there you shall come. And there you shall bring your burnt offering and your sacrifices, your tithes and offering of your hands, and your vows and your freewill offerings, and the firstlings of your herd and of your flock. Verse 6, my. That was verse 6. Wow. Verse 7, and there you shall eat before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice. Rejoice, y'all. We gonna rejoice in all to which you put your hand, you and your household, in which the Lord your God has blessed you. You shall not do according to all we do here in the camp this day. Every man doing whatever looks right in his own eyes. I had to stop and look at that. Oh my goodness. So he says, don't do that. Don't do what you've been doing in the camp. For you have not yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God gives you. But when you go over the Jordan and dwell in the land which the Lord your God causes you to inherit, and he gives you rest from all your enemies round about, so that you dwell in safety, then there shall be a place which the Lord your God shall choose to call his name, and his presence to dwell there. To it you shall bring all that I command you. Now us as Hebrews, we repeat ourselves to make emphasis. He says, this is verse 11, then there shall be a place which the Lord your God shall choose to cause his name and his presence to dwell there. To it you shall bring all that I command you. This is a commandment. Your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, and what the hand presents as a first gift from the fruits of the ground, and all your choicest offerings which you vow to the Lord. He repeated verse 6. Now we're moving on to verse 12. And you shall rejoice. Oh my goodness, he said rejoice again. He's repeating verse 7. In verse 12, he says, rejoice before the Lord your God, you and all your sons and your daughters and your men servants and your maid servants, and the Levite that is within your towns, since he has no part or inheritance with you. Be watchful not to offer your burnt offerings in every place you see. My. But in the place which the Lord shall choose, in one of your tribes, there you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do all I command you. However, you may kill and eat flesh in any of your towns, whenever you desire, according to the provision for the support of life which the Lord your God has blessed you. Though ceremonial, unclean, and the clean may eat of it, as of the gazelle and the hart. That's verse 15. That's interesting. Verse 16. Only you shall not eat the blood. You shall pour it upon the ground as water. You may not eat within your towns the tithe of your grain, or of the new wine, or of your oil, or the firstlings of your herd, or flock, or anything you have vowed, or your freewill offerings, or the offerings from your hand of garden products. Now, this is the Amplified version. It says garden products in parentheses. Verse 18. But you shall eat of them before the Lord your God, in the place which the Lord your God shall choose, you and your son, and your daughter, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and the Levite that is within your towns, and you shall rejoice, you shall rejoice, you shall rejoice before the Lord your God in all that you undertake. Take heed not to forsake or neglect the Levite, God's minister, as long as you live in your land. That's verse 19. My. When the Lord your God enlarges your territory, as he promised you, and you say, I will eat flesh because you crave flesh, you may eat flesh whenever you desire. If the place where the Lord your God has chosen to put his name and presence is too far from you, then you shall kill from your herd or flock which the Lord has given you, as I, Moses, have commanded you. Eat in your towns as much as you desire. Again, us as Hebrews, we repeat ourselves. Verse 22. We repeat ourselves for emphasis. Verse 22. Just as the roebuck and the hart is eaten, you may eat of it, but not offer it. The unclean and the clean alike may eat of it. Only be sure that you do not eat of the blood, for the blood is the life, and you may not eat of the life with the flesh. You shall not eat, you shall not pour it out on the earth like water. You shall not eat it, that all may go well with you and with your children after you, when you do what is right in the sight of the Lord. Only your holy things which you have to offer, and what you have vowed, you shall take and go to the place before the sanctuary which the Lord shall choose, and offer your burnt offering, the flesh and the blood upon the altar of the Lord your God. And the blood of your sacrifices shall be poured out on the altar of the Lord your God, and you may eat the flesh. Be watchful and obey all these words which I command you, that it may go well with you. Why do I have to watch and obey? Because it may go well with you. That it may go well with you and with your children after you forever. When you do what is good and is right in the sight of the Lord your God. When the Lord your God cuts off before you the nations whom you go to dispossess, and you dispossess them and live in their land, be watchful, he says again, that you are not ensnared into following them after they have been destroyed before you, and that you do not inquire after their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? We will do likewise. He said, don't do that. But he know how we are. Verse 31. You shall not do so to the Lord your God, for every abominable thing which the Lord hates, they have done. They have done for their gods. I'm going to read that again. For you shall not do so to the Lord your God, for every abominable thing which the Lord hates, they have done for their gods. For even their sons and their daughters, they have burned in the fire to their gods. They have burned their sons and their daughters to the fire to their gods. My goodness. Whatever I command you, be watchful to do it. You shall not add to it or diminish it. Why do we read this? We read this out of relationship. That's why. We read to have a relationship. I love y'all.